Right now this morning, election stress. Why a new survey finds the 2024 presidential election is a major stress builder and how you can cope. And campfire stories taking center stage at the Pump House. Find out how you can experience tales of the creepy and scary just in time for spooky season.
Plus, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions starting out your day today. Get out and enjoy it if you can, though. With temperatures back to seasonal averages, I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a moment.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us for News 8 Now this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Wednesday, October 23rd. A lot of news to get to, but first we'll get to our weather, which is keeping you busy.
Yeah, I know, right? So let's get into it right now, my friend. We're going to hold on to potentially holding on to cloud cover right now. We're mostly cloudy skies. You get all the way to Ladysmith. As we go through the morning hours, we'll lose some of that cloud cover here south of I-94, and then we'll get into sunny skies to finish out your day. So that'll be it, but it will be breezy as well. That's why you see so much striations in some of these clouds right here. So that means we're picking up winds of 22 miles per hour in some cases. We get out of the larger picture of the region, we'll get closer to home here. You'll see widespread 40s and some 50s in here mixed in. And in fact, we're also seasonal average temperatures, as I mentioned, widespread in the 50s. You're seeing local observed winds up there up to 13 to 15 miles per hour here in La Crosse, Eau Claire at 12 miles per hour. And of course, that means the visibility for fog is not an issue. Fog is not an issue at all. As you can see, nothing's really happening over between 7 and 8 o'clock. Eau Claire, you're looking at cloudy skies getting into some sunshine through the day, 46 to about 52 degrees once we get in the noon hour. For La Crosse, we'll do at least 48 degrees with partly cloudy skies riding right into the afternoon with sunnier skies with mostly sunny conditions. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of how this all plays out for you, so stick around.
New this morning, Allen-McKee County deputies are investigating after a body was found in a wooded area near Postville. According to the sheriff's office, this was discovered near Canadian Pacific Railroad tracks west of the city. Deputies say the person had been dead for some time. Investigators don't believe foul play was involved, and they say there's no danger to the public. Less than 2 weeks now, day, voters aren't waiting. 47 states and D.C. More than 20 million ballots have already been cast. Meanwhile, the presidential candidates are targeting undecided voters across 7 battleground states. Of course, that includes here in Wisconsin. Polls show no clear leader still in the race for the White House. And here's where you can cast your vote early today. La Crosse residents can head to the Southside Neighborhood Center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or the Northside Policing Center from 9 to 2. You can also vote on UWL's campus today at the Cleary Alumni and Friends Center from 9 to 4. If you live in Onalaska, head to the city clerk's office from 8 to 4. And as we said, now less than 2 weeks out from Election Day, millions of early votes already been cast. CBS News' Jared Hill has the update for us from New York.
Former President Donald Trump was back in the Tar Heel State Tuesday for the second day in a row, slamming Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's totally unfit for office.
And the retired generals who served in his administration.
What a stupid group of people they were.
An article published by The Atlantic yesterday claimed that during a private conversation while in office, Trump said, quote, "I need the kind of generals Hitler had, people who were totally loyal to him," which the Trump campaign has denied.
As a 24-year veteran of our military, that makes me sick as hell.
Harris's running mate Tim Walz reacted to the alleged Hitler comment while stumping in Wisconsin yesterday. Earlier, former President Barack Obama joined him on the trail before Obama rallied solo in Detroit, introduced by rapper Eminem.
We have a chance to choose a new generation of leadership in this country.
Harris traded the campaign stage for sit-down interviews, telling NBC News she won't compromise on abortion rights.
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
Harris also said she and her team are ready should Trump prematurely declare victory on election night.
Today, Trump stumps in battleground Georgia, while Vice President Harris heads to Pennsylvania for a televised town hall. And closer to home, Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden also urging voters to get those ballots cast early, meeting with supporters outside Sparta City Hall yesterday. He says this election comes down to 3 things: gas, groceries, and grandkids.
We can't afford to fill up a gas tank and a grocery cart on the same day in the United States of America, and we're deeply concerned about the future for our children and grandchildren. If you don't vote, you don't get a gripe. So get out and vote between now and the 5th.
The former Navy SEAL says most voters may have not served in the military, but voting is their chance. Senator Tammy Baldwin met with cranberry growers in Jackson County as part of her People Power campaign tour. The Democratic senator visited a Black River Falls marsh and research facility. While speaking with local growers there about farming issues, Baldwin emphasized the importance of these community visits.
You know, when you show up, you listen, you hear concerns and challenges, and then you go back to Washington and fight like hell to bring solutions. I think people notice that. And I think it goes above partisanship.
Van Orden visited the same farm less than a week ago. Adam Fravel's murder trial will continue into day 5 today after jurors heard key testimony from the investigator who found Madeline Kingsbury's body in court yesterday. Fillmore County investigator Don Dornick testified he found Kingsbury in a ditch near Choice, Minnesota, after following the sound of flies to a pile of logs and vegetation. The property owner also took the stand, saying he paid Fravel's father to mow that land. Fravel's defense argues law enforcement should have found Kingsbury when they first searched the area in April 2023. A Wisconsin man is among 3 people indicted in an Abercrombie & Fitch sex trafficking ring. Rice Lake's James Jacobson, along with former CEO Mike Jeffries and partner Matthew Smith, all arrested yesterday. Prosecutors say the trio lured men with false modeling promises. Jacobson allegedly recruited for that operation. The 71-year-old will be in federal court in St. Paul. And an investigation is underway after a reported throat slashing at a West Salem Quick Trip. West Salem's police chief said officers responded to the Jefferson Street Quick Trip around 8 p.m. Monday. Police found a man there with his throat cut. The victim was taken to the hospital and later released. Police say the suspect fled in a red semi-truck with a trailer. They believe both men were truck drivers with no connection to one another. Local child care providers warning of a looming crisis if state lawmakers don't act soon. La Crosse County providers met with state candidates yesterday, sharing their struggles as COVID relief funding runs out. That money helped create Child Care Counts, a statewide program that Governor Tony Evers tried to make permanent. Providers say without state funding, communities and workforces will crumble.
This is literally the back that every other business is built upon. And so if we don't have this in our infrastructure, we will not be able to have a community. The infrastructure honestly will just implode.
The Wisconsin Early Childhood Association reports in the last decade, regulated child care programs have gone down by almost 50%. UW System President Jay Rothman pushing to complete UW-La Crosse's Prairie Springs Science Center. Phase 2 of that project has been on hold since 2021. It's now a top priority in the 2024-2025 budget request, Rothman says. He also says completing the facility is critical, with 40% of UWL graduates entering STEM and healthcare fields.
Prairie Springs is #1 in terms of our major capital projects. I remain very hopeful that Prairie Springs can be done. It's necessary, it's important to UW-La Crosse, but it's important to the state as a whole.
The budget request also aims to expand the tuition promise to more middle-class families and create an AI hub within the UW system. The time now is 6:08. Still ahead on your morning news, Target is cutting prices on thousands of items ahead of the holiday shopping season. New FAA rules could see a new kind of aircraft take to the skies. There it is, we'll explain. And the iconic Biltmore Estate now has a reopening date after hurricane damage. We'll tell you when. Gas prices dropping despite Middle East tensions as more Americans see relief at the pump. How much you could save coming up. And for now, sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. In a heartwarming twist, straight from the silver screen, Paddington Bear has received a real British passport. It's part of a promotional campaign for the new film, Paddington in Peru, which sees the bear returning to his homeland for a new adventure. The film's co-producer told a magazine that they requested a passport replica. To their surprise, British authorities issued Paddington an official passport. He deserves it, doesn't he? As you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call look at the city that is home to the largest Walmart supercenter in the U.S., Albany, New York. If you didn't know, now you know. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is coming up.
When you see Stacy Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
I believe in bringing people together, like my family and neighbors did when I was growing up on the north side of La Crosse. And now that I'm in the state legislature, it's why I focus on bipartisanship, because my whole being is focused on bringing people together to find solutions to make everyone a winner. I've appreciated the opportunity to be your state representative, and if I'm reelected, that's what I'm going to continue to do. My entire focus will be on bringing people together to make Wisconsin a better state.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland, as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Racist and offensive. Ryan Hipsch's social media history tells us who he really is. In one post, Hipsch said that he wanted a hat with the N-word embroidered on it. In another, Hipsch aims a rifle and comments that he can't wait to kill Muslims using a slur. Then wrote, LOL, that was racist. And that's just the beginning. Hipsch's social media posts are full of degrading terms for women and people with disabilities. Tell Ryan Hipsch that his agenda is too extreme for the Coulee region.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
It's the weekend clearance at Drury's in Fountain. Incredible savings on America's finest furniture. We're clearing our showrooms to make way for fresh new introductions with hundreds of items reduced to their lowest prices ever. You'll save hundreds of dollars on top brands like Smith Brothers, Daniels Amish, and Flex Steel. Bedrooms, casual dining, sofas, even premium leather, all priced to go. You'd better hurry because you won't see furniture of this quality at these prices again. The weekend clearance, this weekend only, at Drury's in Fountain.
When you see Stacey Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
All right, welcome back. We're back in the 6 o'clock hour, giving you the weather forecast here. We're holding on to at least mostly cloudy skies this early morning. We'll also see as we go deeper into the early afternoon, we'll start to lose some of this cloud cover, get you into at least partly cloudy, becoming mostly sunny skies to finish out your day before we get our highs. In fact, you're to see the temperatures across all the way from Billings to Bismarck, 30s and 40s down there, getting into areas by Denver. We're holding on to conditions to be like this today, already in the 40s and the 50s for us right now. However, we're going to keep some of those 50s as we finish out the afternoon and call it a day. We'll go right back into winds up to 12 miles per hour over in Eau Claire. 13 mile per hour winds right now for areas by La Crosse. We're going to get winds up to 22 miles per hour. So that's going to take away the fog aspect of our forecast today. So we'll kind of get rid of that, holding on to at least all the way through the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock hour. Not much in the way of fog for your day. However, Eau Claire, you've got the clouds kind of holding on all the way into at least the 9 a.m. hour, going from cloudy to mostly partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies for your day. day. 12 o'clock, you're looking at 52 degrees. La Crosse holding on to at least 48 degrees by the 8 a.m., holding on to partly cloudy skies and taking that right through the day with sunnier skies on the way for you a little bit earlier to start. So we'll get into 54 degrees by your afternoon hour. We'll go right into the gusts. You can see at 22 miles per hour by the 9 o'clock time slot, holding on to at least at 22 to 18 mile per hour through the day. And as we get into the 6 o'clock hour, that wind begins to taper on down. Here's a look at your highs for the day. Widespread 50s for you, so get out and enjoy it if you can. But just remember, with all this wind over the next couple of days, fire danger is going to be an issue. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of that rainfall that's on the way. So please stick around.
In your consumer news this morning, Target is slashing prices on thousands of items ahead of the holiday shopping season. The retailer says it'll cut prices on more than 2,000 home goods, beauty products, toys, and food and beverage. Some prices have already dropped, and the discounting will continue through December. The discounts have helped boost customer spending after a string of dreadful quarters for the retailer. Flying cars may become a reality, or at least a variation of them. The FAA publishing new rules that move toward allowing half helicopter, half airplane electric air taxis, here they are, to start whizzing through the skies. On Tuesday, the FAA published nearly 900 pages of special regulations that spell out how pilots will learn the new subset of aircraft designs. The aircraft can fly like an airplane, but take off and land like helicopters at traditional airports, as well as new purpose-built vertiports in urban areas. The Biltmore estate has been closed for more than a month now after Hurricane Helene damaged some of the property. The Grand House was not damaged, but low-lying parts of the estate at the main entrance and its farm flooded. The Biltmore is well known for its extensive winter holiday display. George Vanderbilt completed the 250-room house in 1895. It is the largest privately owned home in the U.S. The Biltmore is scheduled to open again November 2nd. Despite a lot of uncertainty looming over the oil markets, most U.S. drivers are seeing relief at the pump right now. What's pushing these lower gas prices? Karen Kafa takes a look.
Gas prices have ticked lower in most places in recent weeks, even in an environment with a lot of uncertainty.
We should see a slight decrease in gasoline prices going forward in the next month or two, and then a period of pretty relatively stable gas prices as things project into the springtime.
AAA's price tracker said that as of Tuesday, the nationwide average for a gallon of regular gasoline is $3.16, down 4 cents from 1 month ago. And Gas Buddy said Monday its tracker saw the median U.S. gas price slip below the $3 per gallon mark for the first time since early 2024. Ezra Peterson, senior director at AutoAppWay.com, says it's the season for lower gas prices as demand decreases from the summer months and as pumps in some parts of the country switch over to a winter blend that makes it easier to start a car in cold weather.
What that does is because you're using less crude oil in the refining process, the gasoline price itself is actually less sensitive to that crude oil wholesale price.
Peterson says U.S. gasoline prices have become less dependent upon swings in the global oil markets in recent years as the nation's refining capacity has expanded and reserves have been stable. Crude oil prices close to $70 per barrel recently have also helped to keep those prices at the pump in check.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:18. Let's check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett before you rush off to the gas station. Art, you've seen some incredible gas prices.
Yeah, I saw something that was about $1.74 just down the way here off of Cass Street. So let's get into it here. We're going to hold on to at least windy conditions today. If you're getting the kiddos ready to go to school, temperatures are back down now into the 50s. You can see that some 50s and 40s. We have, again, mostly cloudy skies for now. We'll get into sunny skies later. I just want to tell you that we're going to be seeing temperatures to be seasonal, so they're going to be mostly 50s today, so no longer the 70s like we had yesterday, so you might want to add a little extra jacket or something for the kiddos again. But once we get into it, current temperatures are widespread 40s. You get up to Ladysmith, Eau Claire at 48, La Crosse at 53 degrees, and once you go right back down to Prairie du Chien, you're looking at 51, 54 in Boscobel. You'll get into some cooler conditions coming in from Canada. Once again, kind of dropping down some of that cooler air. You see some of that moisture with that line that kind of passed through yesterday, and with that, it ushered in some cooler air, slipping jumping into the forecast, and more is on the way. We'll carry over today, winds getting up to 22 miles per hour. We'll take it into tomorrow as though. We'll also be seeing those winds to get up into the 20s, possibly a little bit more as well. Hold on to this though. We go right into the 9 o'clock hour. We're looking at 40s widespread with a 50 or 2 mixed in there. You'll see the clouds up by Ladysmith, but everybody else is getting back down to partly cloudy skies. We get those clouds out of the way. We go to 4 o'clock. We're under mostly sunny skies for you. And then, of course, widespread 50s for your highs today, right? Then we go into the 10 o'clock hour for tonight. We'll take it into 40s and some 30s working in the forecast. Getting the overnight, we'll probably see some 20s as well. However, once you get into it, you're seeing 8 o'clock in the morning, rainfall starts to sneak back in. The light showers come up by Ladysmith, getting over to Winona as well as all the way down into Decorah. That crosses the Mississippi, and then we go back into rainfall. Starts up north of I-94 first, Ladysmith, Eau Claire, and then gets over to Black River Falls. Then we fill it all in, going right back into the middle portion of the evening to the latter portion of the evening. Widespread rainfall for us. It's about an 80% chance going into the overnight hours. Takes it right back into, say, midnight. I'm going to continue this right here. This is where you're going to see it continue to move on slowly but surely across the region, goes out to Lake Michigan, and then we start to get out of the way of clearing skies. Also a whole bunch of sunshine as well. Once that goes through, some breezy and gusty winds will go in from Sunday all the way to Tuesday. And that being said, those winds will shift coming up from the north, then coming up out of the south. So eventually, we're going to be seeing the rainfall that we picked up. Well, this is what we're trying to look at here. At least up to an inch of rainfall, maybe all the way up to at least a 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch. And once you get up into areas by Ladysmith, Eau Claire holding on to at least maybe about 30, well, it was about 0.03 or 3.0 inches there. We're going to warm it up as we go through the next couple of days, taking you right back into highs for at least some widespread 50s. And then again, over the next few days, 67. We're back in the warmth and continue right on into next week.
Thank you, Art. The time now is 6:21. Still ahead on your morning news. Feeling stressed about the election? Well, you're not alone. Coming up, why more than 70% of Americans say they're worried about our nation's future and how you can cope with the anxiety.
Coming up in the Blitz, season's on the line as postseason play begins for area teams. Highlights from the pitch, volleyball court, and gridiron coming at you shortly.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
Has your pet been diagnosed with a cruciate ligament injury or torn ACL? Forget the inconvenience of travel and expense to a university. Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics in Holmen specializes in knee reconstruction using the TPLO. This is a gold standard that's been used by veterinarians for over 40 years and provides the strongest fixation in ACL repair. Fetch made possible, one knee at a time. Contact Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics today.
We all know what Eric Hovde's trying to do, falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. And Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything. But Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
My feet hurt so bad in the morning, I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. So I had to start engineering my own arch support. So I got that, then I put this in there, this one. Finally, before I added another one of these in, I went to Good Feet, and they gave me this. So I built all this together to engineer a solution to my pain. And if I'd have just gone to Good Feet, I'd have been better off in the first place.
Good Feet Arch Supports, engineered for pain relief, personally fitted for you.
Who does Derek Van Orden think he is? This guy who reportedly shouted at kids in the U.S. Capitol? I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More sofas, more recliners, more mattresses, more of everything.
everything. You're going to find whatever you want, and you're going to find plenty of it. And it's all priced to go with 0% easy payment plans available. And as always, free delivery. Just try that anywhere else. Come visit us today.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
When I called other lawyers, I wasn't even sure who was going to be representing me. Once I called BGR and talked to Brian, I felt secure immediately. I'm so glad that I called Bygoff and Rohde.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, the playoffs are here for our high school teams. Postseason action from here on out for the fall sports season, and that means we've got a lot to get to. Let's begin on the soccer pitch. The Holman Vikings, fresh off an MVC title. They've got a 2-seed in the Division II playoffs, hosting Altoona for their first round match. Vikings wasting no time. Andrew Ripp lets one fly from deep. It's off the crossbar. Elliot Yang is there for the putback, but the whistle was called. Yang was offside, so take that goal off the board. Second half still tied at 0. Andre De La Rosa lets one rip off the crossbar again. Yang puts back is no good. We remain scoreless. 78th minute, De La Rosa work in the middle of the field, and check out the footwork. Nifty move and a rocket into the net, and that is a game winner. He celebrates with the other football team, and the Vikings are moving on. Over to the court we go as Westby taking on River Valley. Norsemen trying to get something going as they are down 2-0. Away side looking to add to their lead, but watch out. Aiden Frank leaps up and sends the ball back to the other side for the point, but the Blackhawks were sharp last night. Here Izzy Roth is going to rise up and power one down in a good spot as RV takes a commanding lead. Westby would come back to win a set, but it's the dominating defense of River Valley as Elizabeth Gostomski says not tonight, sends it back the other way. Blackhawks pick up the road win in 4 sets. And from one Blackhawks squad to another, Viroqua hosting Lancaster. Home side would fly off to a hot start in this one as the senior Abby Timmerman would soar up and snatch the ball to the ground for the kill. Lancaster then trying to come back. Viroqua's dig would go a bit too far, and you're going to hear the smack as Jessica Morgan would send it down with no remorse. But check out the play coming up right here. Viroqua trying to send it over the net, but Ella Grutzmacher is there for the flying arrows, but it's Alan Christensen with the redirect to win the set for the Blackhawks, and Viroqua would take control and win this one 3-1. Playoff football time in Minnesota. Spring Grove looking to stay unbeaten on the season, and the Lions came out of the gate hot. Bryce Burns whips a pass over the middle to Ben Oudstoon, who opens up the floodgates as he coasts in for 6 points. Then Burns showing off the arm strength, going for Zach Brum, and they connect for 40 yards for the score. Lots to cheer about last night for the Lions faithful. Not much later, the home side would ground and pound with Dash Ranzenberger, who's in for 6. Burns threw for 4 touchdowns in just over 12 minutes of game time. Ezra Griffin grabbing this one. The number 6 team in the division begins with a statement win, 52-6 the final. Gotta love postseason play, and plenty more on the way over the next couple weeks. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Fall savings are on now at Home Furniture. The more you buy, the more you save. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices. Right now, this 2-piece modular sectional is just $11.99. Plus, get 60% off all fall and Halloween decor in the market. Hurry in. Fall savings at Home Furniture ends Saturday.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden. I approve this message.
And an 11% rebate on your automotive needs at Menards. Get superior engine protection with Valvoline High Mileage Synthetic Blend Motor Oil. It provides advanced protection from wear, friction, heat, and deposits for high mileage vehicles. A 5-quart jug is $18.99 after rebate. Stay safe on the roads with Rain-X Vision Beam Wiper Blades. They're easy to install and are designed to provide a smooth, streak-free wipe every time. Now just $9.99 each after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
With Tammy Baldwin, we've gotten extreme policies that are hurting our families. Baldwin voted to let boys compete in girls' sports, and she co-sponsored a bill to force women to share locker rooms with biological men. Worse, Baldwin's bill would force domestic violence shelters to admit biological men, even though survivors say it would cause significant trauma for women in those shelters. Tammy Baldwin has endangered Wisconsin families. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is a cup of coffee. It's to go. Because here, you're on the move. Our team coordinates all your appointments, so you see all the experts you need quicker. Because when you're facing a complex condition, it feels like time is being taken from you. So, we found a way to give it back. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health. Remarkable.
When I was 5, I began getting sexually abused by my stepfather, and he got me pregnant when I was 12. "64,000 pregnancies from rape have occurred in states with total abortion bans. And Trump did this. Women and girls need to have choices. With Kamala Harris, we do."
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Fall savings are now at Home Sleep Express. The more you buy, the more you save. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices on quality mattress brands Luxuria and Thomas Cole Sleep. Hurry, don't miss out on fall savings going on now at Home Sleep Express.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. More than 600 frozen waffle products from more than a dozen brands now being recalled voluntarily. Treehouse Foods says the bacteria was detected through routine testing at one of its manufacturing facilities. The products are sold at big retailers like Walmart, Target, and Publix. This comes amid several other Listeria-related recalls, including Boar's Head deli meat, that was a big one, and Bruce Pack's ready-to-eat meat and poultry.
Well, we have more and more complicated food supply chains. So at every step of food processing, there's the opportunity for contamination. So that's number one.
Okay.
Consumers want ready-to-eat food, so of course they're more processed as a result. And thirdly, we have better tests. So it used to be we might not have been aware or known what made you sick. Now we can actually test, detect, and tell you what made you sick.
So far, there have been no confirmed reports of illnesses or deaths due to the contaminated waffles. With Election Day now less than 2 weeks away, a new survey shows Americans are stressed about the future of our country, the economy, and the presidential election. Dina Demetrius has more on how you can cope.
Andrew Payton says he's stressed.
It doesn't help to have your phone buzzing with like headlines and stuff. So there's always like kind of like a background radiation of stress happening.
It's something many Americans are feeling as Election Day approaches.
I do believe a lot of it, for my own personal stress, does trickle down from the political landscape of the last several years.
According to the American Psychological Association, more than 7 in 10 adults say the future of the nation is a significant stressor, with the economy and the 2024 presidential election right behind.
Over 70% of people are concerned about election violence or violence coming out of the election, and over half saying that they are concerned that this election could mean the end of democracy. And what's striking about that is that both Democrats and Republicans are not that different on those two issues.
Dr. Arthur Evans says despite the stress, more than 60% of adults are feeling hopeful about the change this election will bring. Health experts say it's important to find ways to cope with stress, and that starts with eating right, exercising, and getting enough sleep.
For election-related stress, being engaged in the political process is an important way to manage our stress. Limiting the amount of information that you're taking in, particularly when you're tired, is also another very important coping strategy.
Steve Pineda is already taking that advice.
I don't really follow the media much. I don't have much of social media. In fact, I have no social media. Faith is the #1 thing, what keeps me central.
Finding balance between being informed and not overwhelmed.
The survey also shows more than half of Americans hope this election will lead to a more inclusive society. A La Crosse nonprofit is celebrating outstanding green leadership. The Sustainability Institute recognized 2 winners for this year's Inspiring Sustainability Awards. The 14th annual event celebrates community efforts that advance efforts like clean air and water, nutrition, and biodiversity.
Sustainability is really important here just because we know things are changing. We know that climate is changing. We know that the social factors are changing, right? And so we need to figure out how we can help our community thrive in the future for all these conditions that are coming our way.
This year's winners are La Crosse Habitat for Humanity and Andrew Erickson, the Sustainability Coordinator at UWL. Midwest Environmental Advocates naming its 2024 Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award winners. Campbell's Lee Donahue is among those honored, recognized for her work exposing PFAS contamination in tap water on French Island. Donahue advocated for safe drinking water not just in her community but across the whole state.
There's no moat around Campbell or Peshtigo or Stella, Eau Claire, Rhinelander, and the list goes on that prevents those toxic plumes from growing, from moving, and devastating other communities and waterways. And that's why it is so important to ban non-essential PFAS.
The award, established in 2019, honors Wisconsinites fighting for environmental justice. Some Green Bay Packers were at Fort McCoy visiting the Wisconsin Challenge Academy. That is a 22.5-week program for 16 to 18-year-olds who are having a hard time graduating high school. Packers Ellis Merriweather and Cornelius Johnson made the trip to shake hands, sign autographs, and provide some inspiration.
I got the opportunity to do it last year, and I was just kind of inspired by these young cadets, and I just felt like it was mandatory for me to come and do it again when the opportunity presented itself.
Each player also received a challenge medal. There's one signifying appreciation, recognition, and pride. Time now is 6:36. Let's check back in with Art to tell us what to expect on our Wednesday morning commute.
All right, starting out a little bit brisk this early morning, my friend. You're also holding on to breezy and gusty winds that are going to continue not only for today, but for tomorrow, getting into milder conditions with temperatures getting up to the upper 60s for us here locally. Then Thursday evening, rainfall pops in the picture. We're looking at Thursday to be at least a 30 to 40% chance of rainfall popping in the picture in the afternoon, but in the evening it jumps up to about 80%, and that means we could have some storms that kind of worked in the forecast. That being said, let's take a peek at what I've got going on for you here. As we go into it, we're going to be looking at the possibility of temperatures still holding on to the 40s and the 50s. Not much change there. 24-hour temperature change now. We're at least 1 to about 8 degrees, getting about 5 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. Look at this, though, as we go into it. 7 a.m. for La Crosse. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies, turning down to partly cloudy skies by the 9 a.m. hour. Then by the afternoon, you're looking at sunny skies on the way for you. Eau Claire is going to be a little bit behind by that, but you're going to see these winds getting up to 22 miles per hour. And of course, as that continues on, we'll see it taper off by the 6 o'clock hour to finish out your day. Eau Claire gets into mostly cloudy skies by the 8 a.m. morning, but sunshine is on the way for you. And of course, we'll see by 2 o'clock, 56 degrees for La Crosse. So get out, enjoy it. We're looking at mild conditions for the next day on the head, but when I come back, we'll give you a better overview of how this all plays out.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Hey, how about Abigail? She is turning 8 years old today. She loves giving out hugs and riding her bike and going to the park.
And Wally's turning 80. He loves to decorate his yard, garden, and spend time with his children and grandchildren. He's also a Navy vet.
That's pretty cool. Hey, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, or 80 or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. Look for the Submit Pictures button. Coming up, prepare to be spooked. We'll speak with a professional storyteller about an upcoming event that promises to raise the hair on the back of your neck. Stay tuned for tales of the creepy and scary.
What will you find at Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique? Everything you need and more. See our selection of Polish pottery, cookware, olive oils and vinegar, and our gadget wall. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique, located inside Wesco and Sparta. Tell them Peyton sent you.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's Ford SUV season in the Northland. Time for great offers across the entire lineup, including Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. Get ready for the coming season with weather-ready features that make life easier, like heated seating, a heated steering wheel, and remote start. Amazing offers on your favorite Ford SUVs. This is Ford SUV season. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months or up to $7,000 customer cash on a 2024 Ford Expedition. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
We all know what Eric Hovde's trying to do, falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. And Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything. But Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
He's supposed to serve Wisconsin, but Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. Van Orden wants to repeal the law that stops insurance companies from denying coverage if you have a pre-existing health condition. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Guys, what are the chances you can fix this?
It shouldn't be too difficult.
So like 1 in 100?
Fellas, I can fix this.
Like 1 in a million?
I can do it.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes.
G and D, yeah!
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 Welcome to Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Whether you're a gourmet cook or an aspiring foodie, we have something for your style and taste. See our selection of gourmet cookware, bakeware, and appliances. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Stop in today and tell them Peyton sent you.
Well, good morning to you. For your local weather, we're looking at least mostly cloudy skies as you get up to Ladysmith. And going farther down, you're seeing temperatures holding on to the 50s and the 40s, but we're also going to be losing some of the cloud cover down to the south. You can see that we are possibly in partly cloudy skies here locally. We'll go right into your current temperatures, widespread 40s, 50s, you can see as I just mentioned. And of course, we have that cooler air coming out of Canada, also in conjunction with moisture coming in off the Pacific. That continues to stream into our area. And when that does, that's going to add in some moisture coming back for us for tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to see breezy conditions tomorrow as well. We'll see winds today getting up to 22 miles per hour. But once we get into Thursday, those winds will get up to at least 22 to 23 miles per hour plus in some locations. There's the cloud cover, as you can see, right as I mentioned going into it. These clouds will slowly but surely get out of the way once we get into the afternoon hours, holding on to widespread 50s as we go into the 4 o'clock hour for our highs today. 10 o'clock, you're looking at least clearing skies, temperatures in the 40s and the 30s, and we'll hold on to the time we go into the early morning hours. We'll see probably some 20s and 30s in there as well. So we get into it 8 o'clock in the morning. We're looking at temperatures warming up for you quickly, and then we go into the 4 o'clock hour for the afternoon. Light sprinkles to light rainfall moving in the picture. That begins to increase as we go deeper into the 6 o'clock hour. You'll see more of that rainfall getting up northward of I-94. Then we'll fill it in as we go into the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hour with storm activity coming in. This is the moisture from the Pacific I was telling you about working into the forecast now. We'll see this widespread with some storm activity coming in. It is is about an 80% chance of rainfall going into Thursday evening and overnight. It is about a 30% chance to 40% chance during the day on Thursday. Now, that being said, we'll finish it out going to the midnight hour. By the time we get into at least 4 a.m. or so, the rainfall is kind of moving out of the way, slowly kind of brushing by La Crosse down to Eau Claire, down into areas by Prairie du Chien, and then up out it goes. We'll hold on to sunnier skies going into Friday, Saturday, but breezier conditions roll in for Sunday, going right into Monday. You're going to see those winds coming out of the south and then continue all the way into Tuesday with breezy and gusty winds. As far as rain is concerned, out of that storm activity, probably an inch or so or more, and then carrying up all the way down to about 1/1800ths of an inch. We'll also be seeing the possibility of some cool conditions coming in for today. We are seasonable, though, and that will continue on as we go through the next couple of days. I should say at least as we go into the following days after tomorrow. Then we'll go back into conditions that'll be like this, with mild conditions on the way, cooler conditions to hold on to the forecast, and we'll finish out getting into this. As you can see, your 7-day, 4 or 8-day forecast. I've got to figure out what station I'm at right now. You're going to be seeing the possibility of conditions to be like this: 58 today, 67 tomorrow. 60s start to lower down to the low 60s all the way into Saturday, warming you back up slowly but surely as we go into Monday with temperatures around 69 degrees. Get out and enjoy it. Alexandra?
All right. Thank you, Art. Well, everybody enjoys a good campfire story, right? With Halloween just around the corner, the Pump House is offering a spooky treat for our community. Joining us this morning to tell us about tales of the creepy and scary is professional storyteller Terry Visker. Welcome, Terry. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, the name sounds perfect for this time of year. Tales of the creepy and scary. What can you tell us about it?
Well, we are probably more creepy than scary, although, I love scary stories. They're my very favorite, but none of them are ever too scary, I don't think. You got to really wrap them up. But we have 6 tellers, and each of them has a story. Some are folk tales, probably haven't heard them, but they're more traditional tales. And one person, or 2 people, I'm sorry, write their own stories.
Okay.
And so they are, originals that they will be telling. And we tell stories, we don't read them, but we do have some things that we will be reading this time, because one of our tellers researched some spooky happenings in La Crosse from the past. And so he's got 6 newspaper articles from the past, and people will be reading those so that they get them perfectly accurate. And we also have a father and daughter who will be singing a spooky song.
Okay.
So lots of things going on.
A quick question for you. The Bluff Country Tale Spinners are representing this event, right? Hey, can you tell us a little bit about the tradition of storytelling?
Well, storytelling is how our brains evolve. People have been telling stories since the beginning of human communication. And so, that's the way that I always, when I talk to little kids, I say, I'm going to tell you something really scary, but there was a time when people didn't have flat screens, and then they all screamed. So before we had television, we talked to each other at night, and people told stories. That's how they explained things. That's how they communicated with each other, how they made connections. So yeah, it is a long, long traditional art.
Yes, okay. And so what do you think it is about spooky tales that resonate with people so much?
Well, not everybody. My husband hates them.
Yeah, ours doesn't like it either.
And I love them. I love them and spooky movies. I think it's just being able to be afraid without being in danger.
Oh.
And so, you get all that tension and buildup that you have of being afraid, but you're in a safe environment, and that everything's going to turn out okay in the end. Yeah.
Okay, great. So should we leave the kids at home for this one, or what do you think there?
Well, a lot of kids are different. It's geared more towards, I would say, 12 and up. Our audiences are mostly adult now. When we used to do this at the park, we would have, and people could leave easier, we had silly stories, the silly ghost stories for children in the beginning, and at intermission, then it ramped up. Now we don't worry about that. We're just tell the more serious stories the whole time. So if a 12-year-old handles that, which probably most of them can, that would be fine. And I've had 5-year-olds come up to me and say, "Oh, I really liked when that lady came out of the grave." So
every kid is different. You are
They are.
Quick question for her. How do you get people to get inspired to go to these storytellings?
Well, storytelling for a long time was misunderstood. Once we got these flat screens, but now we do have a pretty big following in in La Crosse. And I think especially at this time of the year, just the idea of having a spooky story, that one thing that's a little different. You've got the movies at the theater or on TV, and now this is that live experience. You know, we're different than a play, but it's that live experience, that connecting with people that you can't have with a flat screen.
Yeah, it's more of a show, right?
It is.
Yeah, bring
It
the show
truly
to you.
is a show.
And
Yep.
tickets, is that at the Pump House's website?
Right, tickets at their website or at the door. Hopefully, will be sold out. But
Okay, so probably
last
get
year
them
it
in
was
advance.
almost sold out.
Okay.
So you know,
So try to get those tickets in advance.
Yeah, and doors open at 6, but the show doesn't start till 7.
Okay. Well, Terry, thank you so much for being here. We
Thank you
appreciate
very
your
much for
time.
having me.
All right. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Fall savings are on now at Home Furniture. The more you buy, the more you save. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices. Right now, this 2-piece modular sectional is just $11.99. Plus, get 60% off all fall and Halloween decor in the market. Hurry in. Fall savings at Home Furniture ends Saturday.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
I've been with U.S. Cellular for 27 years. They've always taken care of me. But when they asked me to talk to you about their special customer event, Us Days, I said, I gotta get in shape. So they sent me this Hollywood trainer. Oh, this guy's no joke. Us Days means exclusive deals just for us customers.
Now let's try burpees. Us Days is back at U.S. Cellular. Current customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $400 off any tablet.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Start your adventure and get in a new Jeep at Pischke Motors La Crosse or Pischke Motors West Salem.
Get ready for adventure days with Jeep. Stop into Pischke Motors now for 0% APR for 36 months on the 2024 Compass, Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, and Wagoneer. These Jeeps are ready for your next adventure. Pure comfort and functionality at your fingertips with the power and confidence you know Jeep provides. Hurry in. This offer ends October 31st.
Start your search at Pischke.com and drive away in your new Jeep.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Sleep your best sleep on a Beautyrest Black mattress from Home Sleep Express. And right now, pay no interest for 3 years. Plus, get free white glove delivery, setup, and a 120-night guarantee. Sleep first class on a Beautyrest Black mattress from Home Sleep Express.
First Warn Weather on News 8 Now. Join the conversation at facebook.com/news8000. Or you can always find us at news8000.com.
Welcome back at 6:52. Time for your morning news now. Adam Fravel's murder trial will continue into day 5 today. Jurors yesterday heard key testimony from the investigator who found Madeline Kingsbury's body. Fillmore County investigator Don Dornick testified he found Kingsbury in a ditch near Choice, Minnesota, after following the sound of flies to a pile of logs and vegetation. The property owner also took the stand, saying he paid Fravel's father to mow the land. Fravel's defense argues law enforcement should have found Kingsbury when they first searched the area in April 2023. A Wisconsin man is among 3 people indicted in an Abercrombie & Fitch sex trafficking ring. Rice Lake's James Jacobson, along with former CEO of Abercrombie Mike Jeffries and partner Matthew Smith, all arrested yesterday. Prosecutors say the trio lured men with false modeling promises. Jacobson allegedly recruited for that operation. The 71-year-old is due in federal court in St. Paul. New this morning, Allamakee County deputies investigating after a body was found in a wooded area near Postville. According to the sheriff's office, the deceased was discovered near Canadian Pacific Railroad tracks west of the city. Deputies say the person had been dead for some time. Investigators believe no foul play was involved and there's no danger to the public. On the campaign trail, former President Obama returning to the Badger State yesterday, campaigning for a new administration. 44th president joined VP hopeful Tim Walz in Madison, rallying support for that campaign. The duo emphasized the importance of early voting, urging voters to cast their ballots before November 5th.
If you haven't voted yet, I won't be offended if you just walk out right now. Go vote.
This thing's close. We're still the underdogs in this, and we know we're going to leave it all on the field. Wisconsin, we got same-day voter registration, and it's open today.
After their stop in Madison, Walz spoke in Racine. Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden also urging voters to cast their ballots early. Meeting with supporters outside Sparta City Hall yesterday, he said that this election comes down to three things: gas, groceries, and grandkids.
We can't afford to fill up a gas tank and a grocery cart on the same day in the United States of America, and we're deeply concerned about the future for our children and grandchildren. If you don't vote, you don't get a gripe. So get out and vote between now and the 5th.
As well, most voters may not have served in the military. Voting is their chance to serve. And here's where you can cast your vote early today. La Crosse residents can vote at the Southside Neighborhood Center from 9 a.m. to 4 or the Northside Policing Center from 9 to 2. You can also vote on UWL's campus today at the Cleary Alumni and Friends Center from 9 to 4. If you live in Onalaska, head to the city clerk's office from 8 to 4.
Widespread 50s expected today and breezy and gusty winds associated with that. We'll see La Crosse at least 58 degrees today. And of course, Eau Claire holding on to 55 degrees and a little bit cooler up at Ladysmith with 51. Tomorrow, holding on to the breeze will keep that coming in, but rainfall is a part of your forecast in the form of showers, about a 30 to 40% chance. Then that continues overnight at about an 80% chance going into Friday. How about that though? We'll see conditions to be like the 60s for the next several days after today. And then of course, we begin to warm you up again by Tuesday.
All right, well, a world first performance in Sweden. Look at that. Robotic cellist joining the Malmö Symphony Orchestra. The piece called Vir was written specifically for the robot by a Swedish composer. That composer said it's not about replacing human musicians, but it's about exploring new possibilities. The robot's unique arms can play notes that humans can't. Ooh, I wish we could hear it. A little bit there? No.
I'll take Yo-Yo Ma any day.
Yeah, sounds like a movie. Sounds like a movie you would watch. The robot would do something bad. Like steal all the humans' arms. Okay. Thanks so much for starting your morning with that good news. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Wednesday.